This is Lewis Hart for Boxing Social in association with Empire Fights on Arkeen's Competitions. Delighted to join with a British and European middleweight champion, newly crowned Denzel Bentley. Yeah, how's life, mate? It's been a couple of days, but yeah, everything been okay?
Yeah, no, life's good, man. Just enjoying some time off and that. It's nearly Christmas, eating some food, which you can't really do when you're in camp, so I'm enjoying everything that I ain't been able to do in camp now, so yeah.
Before we do get on to Saturday night, you mentioned it's coming up to Christmas. Like, when you do get one in before the end of the year, it must be like, and especially obviously a big fight, 12-rounder, to have that time off must be lovely to have that, especially on the Christmas period as well.
Yeah, no, 100%, man. I don't think there's anything worse than being in camp over Christmas. But yeah, like you said, I got one out of the way, so I won't be fighting again till the first half of next year. So I'll get to enjoy myself a little bit.
Absolutely, and yeah, obviously a win over Brad Pauls on the weekend, starting to become like a bit of an enemy against that gym. Obviously beating Lionel Tadopha, now beating Brad Pauls. So yeah, all happy with how things went on Saturday night.
Yeah. All happy with it. I mean, like you said about being enemies of that gym, they always show love, man. Terry Stewart, Linus, and Brad, they're all good people. So whenever Linus needs help sparring, I help him. Whenever I need help, they help me. So he probably helped me more than I've helped him, to be honest. But yeah, no, it's a good relationship to have with them, to be honest. Yeah.
Definitely, and I guess sort of what was your, I don't know if you had time to watch the fight back, but what was your reflection on how it went on Saturday night? Yeah,
I've watched it back a few times now, but at first it was just the feedback I was getting. Okay, yeah, everyone was impressed with my boxing ability, the way I use my jab and, my feet a little bit. So, and it was an entertaining fight. People liked it, so I'm happy, I can continue to entertain the crowd whether I'm knocking them out or boxing. So I've watched it back now, and a few things I weren't happy with, but overall I was happy with the performance.
Yeah. Absolutely, and one thing that I actually looked for myself, and I think someone put it on Twitter as well, and I don't know if someone mentioned it after the fight, but obviously first time to win the British title three times since Harold Graham in like 1987. So yeah, that, I'm sure for yourself you think you want to be above, no disrespect, want to be above British level, but there's still nice things to look back on.
Yeah, 100%, man. You're just making history, so now the next person to do that, they'll be like, no one's done it since Denzel Bentley, so my name will always be alive, and especially in British boxing. You know what I'm saying? So. That's a good, sort of thing to stamp. And Harold Graham, I've heard a lot about him. He's a great fighter, all these things and that. But that's a achievement that he done before I was born.
Yeah.
So I'm happy I was able to achieve that and set a new record.
And when you look back on 2024, you must look at it with a lot of happiness. You say I remember you said 3 wins and 3 different types of performances, and you said that before even the Dignam fight. It was important that you put your name back in people's mouths, and you've definitely done that in 24.
Yeah, no, most definitely. I mean, I started the year off in a bad place, so it's like finishing it's so mad. When people say that it's not how you start, it's how you finish. Yeah. That's how I feel about this year. You know what I mean? Like, not just like in your journey, whatever. That's how I feel about the year. Like, the year started off so crap to me, and now it's just ended on a mad high where the beginning of the year feels like it wasn't even this year. It feels time ago. So I'm happy with the way I finished the year. It puts me in good stead for 2025, and I'm looking forward to what next year brings.
And when it comes to sort of putting yourself back in people's mouths and having sort of putting yourself back into contention, is that like you consciously thinking that, like, even in these fights, whether it be like the Dignam fight, the Asase fight, and even this Pauls fight, it's like I need to win, but I know I need to be making a statement to push my claim to be back in there? Yeah,
more than anything, because these are fights, these are all domestic level fights, and like you said, I want to push on. So if I'm fighting these guys that are domestic level, I've got to make a statement to show that I'm not this level, so move him on, because it's not even fair when he's fighting these guys. So I just have to make sure that I stayed, firm, don't lack concentration, and make sure that I'm on point for these fights, and I have been. So I'm happy with the way the year's gone. I'm happy with my performances, and I'm happy with my concentration in these fights. I know the first 2 went 2 rounds, but the 12-rounder, I mean, I finished stronger than anything. So it just shows, I can push the gears if I need to.
And at this point in your career, I'm sure you're pushing on, so you don't have much time for reflection. But I did see the tweet, and you talked about sort of the 7-year difference from making your debut till now. I know you may not allow some time for reflection, but it must be nice to look back then and now. Yeah,
no, it was mad, because I wouldn't even have noticed that. I was on my way home, and obviously it's midnight now, so I was just looking at my snap, and you get your memories, innit? And it was oh yeah, 7 years ago, I'm looking at the memory, and it's a video of me warming up at the back of the Hilton Hotel, and I'm like, this is crazy. I'm on my way home, just headlining from Wembley Arena, and 7 years ago I was in Hilton Hotel for my second fight. So I just thought, like I woke up the next day and I thought, I'll make a little post about it because you might as well, innit? Because I think everything was, my name's hot right now. It's a good little thing to fall back on, or look back on rather, and it shows the journey. It shows, it hasn't always been glitz and glams, innit? I came from small shows where no one even knew my name. But that was very interesting.
Yeah. And this win obviously puts you in really good stead, and ideally, likely next will be a world title shot. Obviously, looking likely that you'll be number one in the WBO, who is a former foe of yours, Janibek. A world title shot's important, but it must feel nicer to be a world title shot against someone that you've been wanting to run it back with.
Yeah, 100%. It's like I said, like you said, the world title shot is important, but after losing that fight, I promised myself and people around me that I'm going to get back there. I'm going to fight you again. I think I even tweeted him as well, like, when we rematch, it will be earned. I think I did. I'm going to try and find that and see if I did. But I remember saying to myself, like, it's going to be earned. So I've gone back to that same route and I've gone straight back for the person that, made me not win the world title the first time, and now I'm getting him again. And hopefully I can beat him. Hopefully we can get the fight made, but then hopefully I can beat him.
Yeah. I was going to say, you confident that happens?
I'm confident that happens. Janibek doesn't strike me as someone that would vacate. Maybe unless he's moving up in weight, but I don't think he is, and he don't strike me as someone that will vacate. So it's just about getting it done. It's about the WBO, do what they need to do, make it mandatory or whatever. And obviously Frank Warren and my manager Martin, pushing all the right buttons to get it done.
It must be a good feeling, as you say, like, because that's like when you look at sort of getting that fight back as well. You look at the journey, the 2 years you've had since then. It being almost sort of over 2 years since you fight Janibek, and so I guess like that's been 2 years of hard work. There's been ups and downs to get to that position, but it must feel nicer that you've earned it, as you say.
Yeah,
I'm not saying you didn't earn it the first time.
It's been a roller coaster journey. Do you know what I mean? There's been like ups and downs, like you said, but that's a part of boxing. That's kind of made me who I am in the sport today. The fact that I could bounce back from a lot of the downs. When I'm on the up, it's good. Everyone's happy seeing me fight. I'm always exciting. Like I said, I've had a few setbacks, but I've bounced back. So it's all a part of the journey. You know what I'm saying? I mean, everyone would like to go undefeated, not just for the sake of keeping your O, but like it's a fighting sport. You know what I'm saying? And losing in a fighting sport means you got to be up. And nobody wants to get beat up just for your pride and your ego. Do you know what I'm saying? It's not just, you lost. Like getting beat up. Like imagine having a fight in school. You don't want to lose a fight in school.
Of course,
Like, so someone can go around in your ear saying I beat you up for the whole year. You know what I'm saying? So no one wants it. That's the only reason why people don't want to lose in this sport, and you end up protecting and all this stuff, but whatever. But look, it's part of the journey. You bounce back, and at the end of the day, regardless of the losses I've had or the wins, if I can achieve what I set out to achieve in the sport, then I've had a great career.
Absolutely, and before I do let you go, I did want to ask about comments. I spoke to Hamzah Sheeraz last week in Dubai, and I did ask him about the comments that you made in relation to him calling Eubank Jr. a pussy. Obviously, you called him a pussy about not wanting to take the fight against yourself. But he said that you've taken the situation very personal, and he said that you were saying the same things when he was in your position. He was respectful all in all, but I don't know what you made of the comments from Hamzah there.
Yeah, interesting. I'm not taking it personal, just answering questions that I'm being asked. I didn't say it out of nowhere. I was asked a question and that was my reaction. So I wouldn't say I'm taking it personal. Yes, I am getting annoyed of the questions, so I'm going to answer it as if I'm annoyed. It's not personal, because if I see him, I'm not going to approach him or try and punch him up, or I'm not going to try and bad him up or try and square up with him. If he was here today, I wouldn't try and square up with him to try and make the fight, basically. So it's not personal until it's signed. Until we fight, then it's personal. But right now, it's not personal. And I wasn't saying the same things. I said, if I recall correctly, I am not going to chase Hamzah because he hasn't really done anything I feel worth of him chasing for. But if the fight gets made, I'd happily take it. I've never, ever said I don't see the need in fighting Hamzah. I've never said that, because he is a good fighter, and I've always said that he's a good fighter, and it'll make for a good fight. But I did say he's not someone I'm going to chase at the time. But if it does happen, I'm more than welcome to accept. But it hasn't. So like I said, the ball's in his court, because essentially he's got to say yes. But he's got a big task ahead of him in the world title fight. Go do your thing. Hopefully, he wins that, and whatever happens next. Whether he fights more or he doesn't, it's down to him. It's his decision. It's just the questions, that annoy me. And everyone always asking me, and no one ever asking him, kind of thing. That's the only thing. But no, I'm not taking it personal. And I saw him say something about, like, I don't know him, he don't know me. I mean, we used to spar quite a lot back in the day, so we know each other enough. I'm not saying we're mates or whatever, or we know a lot about each other, but met a few times, he's done a few things, took some pictures and stuff, so he's acted like we never met before. But look, if that's how he wants to express himself, that's fine. But yeah, it's not personal until it's signed.
Completely fair enough. Denzel, always a pleasure to see you, mate. Always good to see you. And yeah, well done on the weekend. Appreciate the interview, mate. Top man. Thank you, mate. Cheers.